All right, so first of all, thank you all for coming out. This is really exciting to see all of you, and I'm really looking forward to us chatting about what we want to do going forward into the Milwaukee Tech Hub. And I'll tell you, I'm going to steal it right away, but if there's one message I want you to walk away with, it's not only about what the Milwaukee Tech Hub does here in the community, it's what all of you do here as well. So let me first start with an introduction. A lot of people want to know, why the heck did I do this and why did I get into this crazy area? So I have kind of a unique background, and it feels like for the first time in my career, all the pieces all kind of fit together to come together for this. So first of all, my background's in tech. I spent over 25 years at IBM in multiple leadership positions, running businesses that were in the neighborhood of about $500 million. And that was focused in everything from sales to marketing to partnerships. And if you think about this, this is one major partnership. We have all the companies, the major companies here coming together around one mission. And that mission, I think we are all very excited about increasing the amount of tech here in the community. And I also did startups. I did a startup within IBM that literally started on a press release, and we had to do everything from building the product to figuring out contracts to doing a go-to-market strategy and everything in between, some of which worked, some of which didn't, right? And this is effectively a startup, right? So that experience will lead me here as well. But back in 2017, I felt like I had a need to do something bigger, something more impactful, okay? And if any of you have ever done career planning, whether it's way back when you were in college or in high school, I tell you, I was the worst. I had 13 majors in college, no joke. And, but I came across this methodology, and one of the pieces is there's a big circle that you look at, and it is, I'm going to put these down, what am I good at, right? That's one big circle. The second one is what's needed in the world. And the third big secret is, or a circle is, what will people pay for, okay? So I looked at this and said, what am I good at? Well, my background, leading big businesses, had always been around turning them around, and that had always happened through talent development, okay? So I looked at that and said, that's my core competency, okay? I looked at what's the world need, and now I was running a big business in the area of managed services back in 2017, and one of the things we were focused on was we were focused on AI, automation, getting the human out of the equation to make it as accurate as possible, but also taking speed to it, et cetera. So as you think of alerts or messages coming, right, being able to handle them automatically. But what was happening is that meant we needed totally different talent, right? Totally different talent than what we had previously needed. And we went through a major reskilling effort to take it from the talent we had to the talent we needed in the future. And I saw that that wasn't just happening in managed services for IT. That was going to hit every industry as we looked at AI and automation, et cetera. So that's the what do we need. And then what's people going to pay for? People are going to pay for to have talent, right, going forward, because it is what fuels all of our businesses. So I went back to school. I got my master's in workforce and talent development, and while I was doing that, I actually had the opportunity to volunteer pretty extensively in the Milwaukee community, focused on what's the future of AI, automation. In fact, I met a lot of you in this room as a result of that. I volunteered here as part of the Tech Coalition as well. I went back to IBM. I focused again on managed services, and I did some work for our CEO at the time and around the future of work and informing our strategy there, but it was my minor. So I went to Accenture and thrilled to have the opportunity to focus exactly where I wanted to, helping companies in the midst of digital transformation transform their talent. And that includes upskilling plans, talent planning, et cetera. So now this is an opportunity to take it from doing it one organization at a time to doing it here at a regional level. And I can't tell you how excited I am to be able to stand here in front of you and put all these pieces of the puzzle together to be able to help us in transforming the region. So with that, I want to start on the presentation. So if you would advance, I guess, do I have a flipper? Ah, got it. Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, so two big numbers. First one is 2x. We've been very public about this. Probably everybody knows what that one stands for. Anybody? Double the number of tech workers in Milwaukee. Awesome. Absolutely. That's number one. And that equates to about 70,000 people. Okay? No small task. 5 years. We've been very public about that's what the goal is. Now, with that said, that doesn't, I mean, that's not only, it sounds like kind of a crazy goal. And we didn't just kind of like pick that out of the air. It's because we need it here in the region. In fact, I was just looking at, and this is why I bring this, because of stats. So CompTIA talks about what's going on in the industry. Tech is about 10% of the economy in the US. We're not near that right now, right? There's a lot of upside. It's one of the fastest growing in the industry, okay, or one of the fastest growing economic segments. And at the high, there's about a concentration of about 11% of the population. Now, when we look at it here in Milwaukee, we need to, if we want to grow as a region, this is where we're going to have the opportunity to grow, to capture one of the fastest growing regions. And part of that is also, it's the area of economic security. So in Wisconsin, it's about, the average tech worker makes about 64% more than the average worker. So by investing in tech, we invest in the future, we invest in having a very sustainable economy. And I was just reading a report this morning called A Vital Path to the Midwest Prosperity, and that report immediately pointed to tech, right? That's how we all get to economic prosperity. So with that said, some people will look at that big goal and say, hey, it's impossible, absolutely impossible. And we could all be naysayers about it. You know, Austin, outside of the Silicon Valley, is held up as one of the top tech areas in the country. And it has a goal of increasing tech by about 16% over 5 years. And it's about 7% concentration. And so we look at that and say, well, how do we ever get to 2x? And especially if, when we did the original study that some of you are aware of around Milwaukee, we start actually with about 30,000 in the hole over the next 5 years because of retirement. So really, we're talking about doing about 100,000 people. Huge, huge impact. So some of us might say, hey, that's impossible. I want to say, though, it's absolutely necessary. And I don't know, you can look at a whole bunch of different reports. But Brookings did a report related to the impact of tech, AI, automation, et cetera, on the workforce. And Wisconsin is expected to be one of the top 6 states affected by automation, AI. And regardless of which report you look at, it can be 25 to 48% of what we do. And regardless, I don't care if the number is 25, I don't care if the number is 48, it's a pretty huge impact that we as a region are going to have unless we continue to transform our economy, focus on where we're growing, where the economy is growing the fastest. So as we look at this, we all kind of came together and said, hey, the Tech Coalition came together with some very forward-looking companies investing to say, this is important. And as we did that, there's a lot of good things that the Tech Coalition has been doing over the last couple of years. So, one asset that's out there, MKEtech.org, great website for being able to see what's happening in the community. In fact, if anybody is tweeting today, put hashtag MKE Tech, it'll show up there, right, as part of the flow. So we want that to happen, and we want events that are up there that scrapes automatically so we can have a great place to see all of the tech events that are going on here in the region. We had Fall X last fall, you know, kind of an inaugural event of really bringing the tech community together in a different way. You know, everything from product managers to creatives to deep technical coding skills, et cetera. Last night, I had the fabulous opportunity to be at 4M, which is incubation around small startup organizations. Last fall, December, there was the Hour of Code, 10,300 hours of code here in Wisconsin that that were sponsored by all of you here in the room. And it goes on. You'll hear some of the other ones here on the podium today. Dev 10 will be speaking, et cetera. And even this community meetup, I don't know, as I was standing in the back of the room, the introductions of one another is really outstanding. But it's not only about what we do in the Tech Coalition. So when I became a manager, one of the first pieces of advice that somebody gave me years ago was, it's no longer about what you do, it's about what you enable your team to do. And I would say I stand here in front of you as the CEO of the MKE Tech Hub with a similar message. It's no longer about it's not only about what I do as the CEO, it's about what we enable everyone in this room to do as well. And I'd say we have some amazing points of pride across this region. Across, you know, whether that is the UWM, Connected Systems Integrate, the Data Institute, Carroll University's analytics program, Girls Who Code, et cetera. You guys, and many, many more. I could not have fit them all on this page, so please do not take offense that you're not listed here. It's like, and many, many more, because there are. So as I look at all of these, though, and I compare those to the numbers I talked about earlier, together, unfortunately, those are not going to get us to that goal, right, of doubling the tech talent. These are working with tens, hundreds, et cetera, not in the tens of thousands. So as we think about where the Tech Hub Coalition has really challenged us all to go, it's to go bigger, right, and bolder. And there's, you know, 4 strategy lanes that you have seen published on a regular basis. One is about supporting the startup community. One is about attracting and developing tech talent. Another one is around attracting tech organizations and tech work. And the fourth one kind of disaggregates those two, because if you think about it, it's often a chicken and an egg. Do I have enough tech workers to attract a tech business? And vice versa, right? If I don't have tech businesses, do my tech talent want to go? Because as you think about it right now, we have a lot of tech jobs here in Milwaukee, but we're also exporting talent. So, you know, there's kind of a misconception. So as we think about those 4 major goals, the inaugural members of the coalition have essentially come together to launch this and really focus on going bigger. So as we think about this, though, we're really lucky. And first of all, before I go on, is for those that are inaugural members here, would you guys stand up? It's good for everybody to see who's in the room. Woo! So I want to thank our inaugural members because they helped get us here, right? To get us started, to get us the funding. But now we have others joining us. And I'm really proud to announce today that We Energies has joined us. Is somebody from We Energies here? They could stand out in the back. So as a gold member, they will be joining our board of directors and have already started getting engaged with us on an active basis. I also have the pleasure of announcing we have 2 new bronze members joining us. So concurrency in Godfrey and Kahn, can you guys stand up or raise your hands? Anybody here? Okay. They also are joining, and at the bronze level will be joining us also on the advisory board to help us look at where we want to go, what actions we want to put in place, etc. And the last is we had new community members as well join us. Alchemy Angel Investors, Carroll University, and yes, again, raise your hands. So you look at this, we have a huge cross-section of Milwaukee companies, but it's only a small subset. For us to accelerate this, we want others to join us. And I invite all of you, with those that raised your hands, part of the reason I did that is so others can come ask you questions, why you joined, what you hope to gain from it, et cetera, because I'd like to see a lot more members as part of this as well. Okay, with that said, you look at, what's next and where do we go first? So throughout the interviewing process, one of the first things I said is we need to be additive and we need to listen. And so we're starting that listening here today. Okay, so there are 3 easels that go around the room, and I gotta make sure I get them in the right order. The first one over here, advice for me. As I join, and what advice do you have for the new CEO? The one here is, what are some of the biggest barriers that you see in Milwaukee, and how would you address them? And the third one over here is, what are your big ideas? What do you think could really change the trajectory here in Wisconsin and in the Milwaukee region? And by the way, if you're interested in getting involved and participating as part of those initiatives, put your contact information on the back, okay? Because it is, again, it's not about what we do alone. It's going to take a volunteer community working together to make this happen, okay? So 3 different positions that would love your advice. Hope those things are full of stickies, and if we run out of room, go to the next page. Okay? The next thing that happens beyond that is we continue to develop the plan. So there has been a lot of work done behind the scenes, developing those strategy lanes. Now it's a matter of taking those and figuring out exact execution plans and translating that into activity as we continue on the work that's already going on. So we're not stopping anything, right? And you're going to hear about a ton of things that are going on in the community today. But we'll continue to look at that, take your ideas, take the ideas of those that I'll be out listening in the region for, and building together. And then we are going to run, right, and fast, because we don't have time. Right? If you look at some of the other tech hubs in the country, some of them have been in existence 25 plus years, right? We have some work to do, but I am so excited to see the energy here in the region to do it together. So with that, one of the things I'm going to challenge you for is, as you listen to the speakers today, they are going to come up here and talk through some phenomenal things that are going on in the region. I'd like all of you to think about how you personally can get involved, how you personally can engage in what you're interested in, because we need each and every one of you.